I want to let y'all know that you can purchase the Via Hemp gummies in all 50 states. They can be shipped discreetly to your door. I wanted to make sure I let them know that because I know y'all rushing to go purchase them. I love the High Love.
I do too. It just makes me feel so warm inside. And like sometimes when I'm doing my makeup, I like to eat one, like maybe 30 minutes before I'll take a shower. Then I'm like gonna do my makeup, I'm doing my hair. It just makes me feel like extremely feminine and sexy. And I just love the vibe it gives. And then it's like, okay, when I go on this date, I know I'm gonna be ready afterward if the date is good. But I love the High Love. It's like aphrodisiac herbs mixed with THC. And so it's just gonna let you really let your guard down. I know sometimes that's hard for me, or I might have a lot on my mind. And it's like you want to be in the moment, you want to pull out your sexual energy, but you have all these blocks. High Love is gonna get that right on up out of here.
You might have a baby. No, I'm just playing. But I love it so much that I have found myself giving them away. Like, because I want people to try it. So I'm like, no, just try it. And if you're nervous, it tells you the dosage to take on the back of each bottle. And if you're still nervous, you can nibble it throughout the day. I've done that too, where it's like, okay, maybe I don't want to eat the whole one. Just, put it in your pocket.
I break mine in fours, to be totally honest.
Microdose it. And you feel even better, honestly, because then the rush just hits you in little spurts, not all at once.
I really love it. Via Hemp has so many amazing products. If you're not into THC, that's okay too, because all of their products don't have it. Some of them have CBD, CBN. Go to their website. It's viahemp.com. That's VIIAHEMP.com. And they have a list of all of their products. The line of gummies are great. The labels look great. If you forget, like Medinah said, if you forget what was on the website, you can look on the back of the labels and you'll be able to see exactly what it's going to do, what kind of vibe you're going to get, and like how potent it is, so you know if it's strong or not. And just remember to eat your gummies responsibly. They're available to be shipped to all 50 states. You do need to be 21 or older to get them, but if you use our code CockTales, CockTales, you'll get 15% off. So head on over to viahemp.com, use our code CockTales to get 15% off, and you're gonna be floating and feeling real.
Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? Hey, listen, man, it's the one and only trendsetter DJ Sense, and you're listening to CockTales, dirty discussions with Kiki and Medinah Monroe. Yeah.
Today's cocktail is called New Year, New Me. How? I'm just playing. It's called New Year, New Me. The ingredients you need: 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of cranberry juice, a ½ ounce of fresh lime juice, some ginger beer, some ice, cranberries for garnish, and a rosemary sprig. So you're going to fill a copper mug or glass with ice, pour in the vodka, the cranberry juice, and the lime juice. Top off the mixture with the ginger beer, leave some space at the top. Give it a gentle stir to combine the ingredients, and garnish with a handful of fresh cranberries and a sprig of rosemary. And that is a New Year, New Me.
Welcome back to CockTales Dirty Discussions, you guys.
Hey, y'all.
Happy New Year again.
Happy New Year again. It's a new year in the future.
Did you make resolutions?
You know what? I didn't actually write them down, but I think in my mind I have a few New Year's resolutions, maybe like 1 or 2, and most of them are just to keep a continuation of like what I've been doing, which is working on me and being able to show up for myself and others the way that I think I should. Also, I kind of want to fall back from Fashion Nova a little bit and get more quality clothes, because even though I love Fashion Nova, and if y'all want to make me a Nova babe, I'm totally fine with that still. But the way that these zippers be popping off the dresses when you don't even do anything, or like a little piece of thread just like somewhere, you'd be like, dang, like, why does this keep happening to me? Like, I don't want to look so cheap, just a little.
I mean, I definitely think that you should, at least to start out, you get a few staple pieces that are really high quality so that the washing machine don't tear them up. I mean, Fashion Nova is fast fashion. It's like, this is for the people who feel like you don't repeat outfit.
You are wearing it once, and whether you wanted to wear it again or not, you can't.
It's over.
What about you?
I haven't made any resolutions yet. We're recording this a little bit before the new year. I haven't made any, but I do plan to sit down soon and do some goal setting and just some reflecting. I usually do it and take it really serious around my birthday and start over then, but I think it's fun to do it at this time. Last year, we had a girls' night at Drea's house, and we did like a slumber party, and we all set these goals, and we did it, we broke it down to the quarters of the year to say like, okay, these are the ones that we're going to focus on here and to build on, to kind of break down your goals, because sometimes I find like we'll make these big goals like, oh, I want to eat better, but we don't really do the plan to eat better and really break it down and think about it and have like more concise plans for things. So I'll probably be doing that over the weekend. But I don't know. I'm not really sure. I need to think about it some more.
I also think 2024, going into 2024 is so interesting, and you guys let us know if you feel this way. It really feels like it doesn't feel like we're going into a new year. It's really weird. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it's just like, I'm like, wow, it's really about to be 2024. Well, when this episode comes out, it'll be 2024. And normally I feel a lot of stress and anxiety when a new year is approaching. I don't know if it's the way I had been living, just like with a lot of stress and not really getting the things in my mind out, or some of the relationships that I had. Like, I can't really pinpoint it, but every time I'm like, dang, it's really about to be 2024. It doesn't feel like we're walking into a new year. Even this year for the holidays, it didn't really feel like the holidays, and not in a negative way. It just kind of feels like, be better.
I don't know. It feels like a new year to me, and I can't wait. I do think that the holidays felt rushed, but I think it's because I was so busy and there were so many little things happening. It's just like every day is going so fast. And I forgot about Christmas. I was forgetting about New Year's. I never really make a big deal about New Year's as far as like going out and having like solid plans to be out and celebrating in like a party type of way. Like growing up, I used to go to church, and I wasn't doing that as an adult. That was gonna not be what I wanted to do. And a lot of times I would just watch TV. I would watch this stuff at home. It's cold outside.
It's cold outside. And it's dangerous on New Year's Eve.
It is dangerous. And when it's cold, I really don't like to do shit. For real. It's cold. I'm cold right now. My nose probably turning pink. And I was coming in here and I was like, oh my God, I need like an electric jacket.
Oh, I brought in my big brown teddy bear coat.
I brought in my puffer.
I did want to say, I don't have plans for New Year's Eve yet, but on January 6th, I'm doing a vision board making party. Now we'll already be 6 days into the year, but you know, it's not too late. At some point in January, if you guys feel like you're like, oh, I do have a New Year's resolution. Maybe you didn't have it before, and you just something comes up in your mind in January. Make sure you come. Go to parisandvibe.com to get more details. But we did it last year, and it was a lot of fun. There was a DJ. Everybody brought magazines, different boards. You know, made it really fun. It wasn't like no stress. No stress. If you don't know what you're doing, come and just leave your board blank and put a heart in the middle. Do what you need to do. There was something else I was going to tell you about the new year. I wanted to eat some black eyed peas.
Okay.
I've never done that.
Oh, really?
Ever. Like, I know normally people go, you have a spoonful of black eyed peas, right? A bowl or a spoonful?
I've never heard the spoonful, but it's like the New Year's meal. You have black eyed peas, you have like cabbage or some sort of greens, and all the. So
it's like Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner all over
No,
again.
Because you ain't no turkey or nothing like that. But you do need some meat.
Do you like black eyed peas?
Yeah. I don't love them, but they're not nasty. Like, have you ever tried them?
I've never had black eyed peas.
Oh, okay. They don't taste like peas at all.
They taste like beans? Okay, I like a little bean.
I think it should be tasty. Are you going to make it? Or are you going to get it?
I think I'm going to go to my boyfriend's family house because I know it's like a luck thing. And if you make them, and it's my first time making them, I don't want it to be, but now I made them wrong and now we're eating the bowls of peas and we in bad luck for 2024. No, I'm going to go to a seasoned woman's house who knows how to make the black eyed peas and eat it. I'm probably just going to eat a spoonful, not a whole bowl. But
you might like it. You might eat a whole bowl. I mean, it's like a side dish, not like an entree bowl. So you just have a little bit. Have you had red beans and rice?
I've had red beans and rice.
Okay, similar.
Okay.
So don't be scared.
Okay.
Growing up, we used to have that meal, but later I was like, I don't really, like Sean would do it, but I wasn't really doing it. And I was like, listen, I know it's a superstition and I have some that I hold on to and some that I don't, but I'm like, y'all be eating this shit every year and ain't nothing changing. You gotta put your foot to the ground and get to work. And you can do these things. And I think that they're fun and it's cool in the tradition aspect. But it's like, you can't eat cabbage every year and think you get money if you still don't want to work.
Let me ask you this. Where does the superstition with the black eyed peas come from? Do you know? I'm pretty sure it's with slavery. But I just don't know if there's what's the story behind it.
I don't know what the deal is with the black eyed peas.
Google it real quick.
I know you need I think the greens, like you have greens or cabbage or something.
We all just eating
We had
stuff
cabbage
and not knowing.
and that's for money, prosperity. It's green like money, I guess.
Add a
I
little
don't
cabbage
know.
to the list.
I looked it up one time, but I can't remember.
I'm looking it up because I really am
Curious.
Okay, why black eyed peas on New Year's Day? Okay. According to author and food scholar Adrian Miller, eating black eyed peas on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day promises good luck, health, and abundance. The bean has taken the form of good fortune and has even adopted a few different aliases along the way. Is Adrian Miller black?
Why you say that?
Because I could have sworn that was like a black thing. The black eyed peas, or everybody's eating black eyed peas.
I don't know if it's a black thing or a southern thing. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I know a lot of people, black and southern, who do it.
Okay, this says others say it started during the Civil War in Vicksburg, Virginia. The town ran out of food while under siege, and the people were lucky enough to discover cowpeas, aka black eyed peas. Meanwhile, cabbage leaves are thought to bring prosperity to those who eat them on New Year's Day as well. Okay, well, I'm gonna eat the peas.
Eat all the things.
Yeah.
I hope you like it.
I'm gonna text you and let you know.
Okay, good.
Well, on that note, I guess you want to move on to weird sex?
Yeah.
You said a man is not a necessity, a man is a luxury.
Like dessert. Yeah. A man is absolutely not a necessity.
Did you mean that to sound mean and bitter?
Oh, not at all. I adore dessert. I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
All right, you guys. So this week for Weird Sex, I have a story about some people who decided that they wanted to fulfill a fantasy. They decided to fulfill their fantasy in Florida. They should have took their ass to hedonism because now the police are about to take their asses to jail. So let me tell y'all, a 60-year-old man and a 50-year-old woman from Florida were arrested for engaging in sexual activity in a public place, according to Law and Crime. Side note, when I was at hedonism, Law and Crime is a TV channel that was there. Because I'm always looking for the Law and Crime channel. I see it on YouTube, but I'm like, where is it on Sling? Anyway. Fun fact. Okay, so the incident took place on a causeway. If you don't know what a causeway is, it's like those bridges that are low to the water and they're usually pretty long. So the couple allegedly was having sex. I mean, I'm saying allegedly, but they had witnesses. They were fully nude on top of each other in front of a group of people. Now, why is there a group of people on the fucking causeway? I don't know. But there were 2 children in the mix. And you know, anytime children are present, just like that girl who's masturbating on the beach.
Now you got to register.
And one of them was already registered. So, double whammy. So the kids were 9 and 15. The suspects, Robert Clark and Sarah Fazekas, were taken into custody and now face charges related to the incident. The county sheriff's office responded to multiple calls about the incident. One of the children's parents told deputies who later arrived at the scene that they saw Crack to Sack going to town, laying on his back with no clothes on around him, and his penis was fully exposed. When the officers scolded Clark about the incident that exposed 2 minors, he responded, children should be at home and not on the causeway. I mean, I do think they should be at home. But you're not supposed to be fucking there. This is not the drive-in and get your dick sucked. Anyway, they were both being held at the detention center. The girl was released on a bond of $2,150, and Clark was released a few days later after posting a $50,000 bond with the condition that he must not have any unsupervised contact with minors. Why do y'all be doing this shit? I can't understand. One, sex offenders and people still fucking them. I just be wondering, like, what's going on? Do y'all know that you can check that, right? And then it's like there's lots of limits that come with that. And then you decided to take this man who has already been in trouble. I don't know what his previous charges were, but y'all decided to fuck on the highway. Y'all never thought that y'all was gonna get in trouble for this. Like, that is just crazy.
And that's just one of those things, like, to go to jail for that. Imagine getting locked up for like public sex and like y'all were really thinking this was about to be like this is an adventure. Y'all get locked up. Oh, bail of 50,000 racks. And then you're in jail. People are like, what you locked up for? You're like, we was fucking on the causeway. Why was
you gotta say
doing
something
that?
else. You can't tell them the truth. They're gonna get you. You was fucking in front of the kids. Yeah, I don't know. But thanks to whoever sent me that story. I really appreciate it. Keep sending the weird sex stories in to me. I appreciate it.
Okay, just to extend some more weird shit. Speaking of sex offenders, it's really weird that you brought that up, but funny that you brought that up because the other day, well, then really this was like a few weeks ago, something had come up to spark this conversation with me and my boyfriend. We were at home and somebody had found out that somebody was a sex offender.
Did they know the crime?
Yes, like everybody knew. And I was like, he's telling me the story. He's like, aren't you shocked? I was like, I'm very shocked. And then it dawned on me. I was like, wow. Then we looked up the sex offender website and I was like, have you ever been dating someone or just like the people that, I was going to say men, but men and women, just put anybody's name in the sex offender just to look up to see if they are.
Every time.
I have never done that.
Really? I think y'all should all do it, honestly.
Everybody should. And even I was thinking about like with your...
And when I move, I do that too. And I just look at it every now and then because just because I'm not moving doesn't mean somebody else hasn't moved.
Right. But not just like in your neighborhood. I've looked up the neighborhood, but actually put in like family members' names,
people
friends'
I know,
names.
new people.
I have never done that. And my boyfriend was like, it's funny. Like, I haven't either. I started asking people like, do y'all be checking the sex offender list for people that you know they're in your personal life that you maybe just, you don't know that they've done this? Y'all need to really do that. I started putting in family members because I was like, I just want to see now. Like, you don't know who you're around. And so many people don't care. We've seen this in family where it's like.
The initial search, whoever that person was.
He was like, oh, no. We just started putting in random people at this point. I was like, I really never checked some of the people that maybe I need, not even maybe I need to check, because it was family members. I was like, I'm about to put in everybody, uncles.
No, but I mean, what made y'all think to check?
Oh, we were having a conversation about somebody that was a sex offender, and we don't know them personally, but it was a story that he heard. Okay. And it was just like, well you really don't know.
Because you don't know.
Let's check. And then I started Googling all this stuff about sex offenders. Did you know that on Halloween, do you know what I'm about to say?
No, go ahead.
On Halloween, sex offenders in some states have to go to jail or they have to report to their parole officer, and they have to stay inside. They can't have not one decoration up. They cannot leave the house.
I think it makes perfect sense.
It definitely makes sense, but I never knew that. I was like, wow, when Halloween comes, y'all niggas got to, what? It is just wildly insane to me that people really be out here sex offending. Like, you're in trouble for your whole life. Like, it never leaves you. It doesn't matter if you were 17. It doesn't matter if it was something like you were having sex in public. You are now on that list. Put these niggas' names and the women in the sex offender list, and you check it out and make sure that you're safe.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, my mom was a parole officer for many, many years, and all of her parolees were sex offenders. So she would tell us about stuff, and even as we got older, she would tell us in more detail about just different things so that we could be aware. And I think that that's why I continue to do that, because it's like, you don't know. I remember there was somewhere we were living and somebody got out of prison and he had finished his sentence and he was paroling and he lived very close to where we lived, and she told us. And she used to watch him like a hawk and be like, don't go to this street because this is where this person lives and just stay away. He didn't have any crimes against children, but sometimes people do they might have committed a crime against an adult and they will go to a child. And it's even worse when it's a child. And just like the horrific things that I've heard over the years that people have done, it's just crazy. It's really scary.
It's really scary. I was watching, do you remember the Mary Kay Letourneau story? It was in the news.
Mm-mm.
So this happened when we were kids, but at first when I was watching the movie, they redid the movie. They did the movie in like the 90s, and now they redid it, and you won't know that it's about Mary Kay Letourneau if you don't look it up, because it's not called like the Mary Kay Letourneau story.
Mm-hmm.
But the one on Netflix now, it's called May December. Kiki,
I saw that, and it's on my list to watch. She's the one with the young kid, young boy.
The young boy. So I instantly want to watch it because I love Julianne Moore, I think that's her name, and I love Natalie Portman. Whenever they're in any movie, you know it's going to be good. Even if you don't read, you don't even need to know what it's about, it's going to be good. So I was like, oh, baby, let's watch this. I didn't know it was about Mary Kay Letourneau. So we started watching it, and we were getting real uncomfortable. I was like, what is going... So anyways, he couldn't watch it no more. He was like, I'm not watching this. We got to watch The Walking Dead. But then he fell asleep. And then I started watching it again because
you gotta watch fake monsters,
he
not
was
real
like, I
ones.
can't do this. Men really get uncomfortable when women are okay watching the crime and the rape and the murder.
Because I need to know what the fuck is going on out here in the world. People do things that I've never considered.
Girl, watch the movie. So basically, this is what it's about, but this already happened. It's already in the news. So Mary Kay Letourneau, she was a grown ass woman. I'm talking about maybe in her 30s or something. She was a teacher. She was married. She had her own family. Her husband said he never would have thought this would even happen. It's not like she was a registered sex offender. She started dating a 6th grader. I can't even say dating. She was molesting this little boy and raping the little boy. But he had foreign parents. Nobody really was like, nobody was checking for him. Some part of, it's somewhere in Asia. I want to say maybe it's Cambodia.
Okay.
But they were like fresh off the boat. I hate when kids don't have somebody sticking up for them, because people, when you read the story, some people knew this was going on, his parents, and they didn't know really what to do. When they did find out, she ended up going to jail, but she was pregnant by him. Pregnant by, I think he was 12 or 13. She got pregnant by him. She ended up having the baby in prison, and when she got out of prison, they got married. And she lived a life with him. And so the movie that they made in the 90s was about all of that. The movie that they made now is about like the grown him and still being in a relationship with this woman. When I tell you, it was so sad, because when you look at little boys being sexually assaulted, people look at it in a totally different way. It wasn't like nobody was fighting for him still. Even when she got out and married, it's wrong. Like his whole life was basically like a slave to her. You see it.
She groomed him.
Groomed him. He was scared of her. She was like a mom. They had more kids. They ended up divorcing, but it was just, if y'all have not watched May December and you think you can handle it, watch it. And I just want to know what y'all think, and then look up the Mary Kay Letourneau story. I just really can't believe this woman was doing this. And she really was like, I love him. I've never met a man like him. Like
he's not a man.
They reveal some of like her videos of her talking about him when he was 12.
That is just so, it's so gross. And I've been seeing so many stories. I know that there's so much that we know about men doing this sort of thing, and people like kind of act like women don't do it. But they do. And I've done a ton of weird sex stories, and I keep seeing more stories. There was another story that's going around on TikTok right now. And this woman was a cheerleading coach. I don't know if you remember this video. It went viral maybe like last year or something. But it was like a back to school video. They made like a rap song, and it was this teacher and students, and they were dancing and singing, like excited to go back to school. It was a positive thing. Same teacher, she was a cheerleading coach. She started fucking one of the football players. She has a husband. I'm gonna get some of these facts mixed up. So somebody connected to the cheerleading coach is like a vice principal at the school. It's lots of people who are connected in the school. She had a husband of her own, but then she started fucking the boy on the football team, another student.
These are high school kids?
High school kids. Starts fucking him. He was dating a girl, or somebody liked somebody, and the cheerleaders went in her iPad, took pictures, and told her she needed to do XYZ or they were going to expose her. They exposed her, posted the pictures to somewhere online, and it's like her in her pajamas at night, hanging out with him, kissing him. They just taking like couple pictures, but it's like, this could be your son. You are a grown-ass woman. This is a teenager. And, you know, I know that some people be feeling grown when they're in high school and stuff.
You're
but
not.
The older that you get, the more you realize, like, the mindset. And even when you think that you're mature for your age, and even when you think that all of this, the people who are 30-something years old, hell, sometimes even 20-something years old, they are preying on you because you're a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And they know you want to feel grown. They know that
They know your frontal lobe ain't even fully developed.
Yeah, and it's like, they're predators. Whether it's a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. And I hate seeing stories like that. It's fucked up. And I feel like when people do that, especially when it becomes a long-term thing or it turns into a big case like this. Now, his face is all over the place too. I feel like it robs the kids of a bit of their childhood, and that can have long-term effects.
Yeah.
It's just... Now, in fiction, I was watching Boardwalk Empire. Have you ever seen that?
I started it a very long time ago, but I didn't get that far. I think I was got to the second episode.
Okay, so I just made it to the second season, and if you guys haven't watched it, it's available on Max. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to give the story away, but it's like a 1920s era gangster series, and it's like when Prohibition starts, and so all these people are bootlegging alcohol, and then some people are selling drugs and stuff. There's some gambling. As you get deeper into it, you realize pimping and hoeing is going on a lot. There are some whorehouses, but then it's just like, it's a lot of layers to things. But there's this main family, and it's like there's this one father figure who's also like running shit in Atlantic City, which is where the majority of this takes place. There's a boy, well, he's a man now. He's like 22. He has a girlfriend and a child. He just came back from the war. And this guy is his father figure. So I've been watching, like, who is his daddy? I figured out who his daddy was kind of early on. I don't want to give it away in case y'all see it, but you do meet him before you realize that this is his father. And then you meet his mother, and I'm looking at the mother like, I think she's supposed to be young. So I'm watching with somebody who already watched it. He was like, how old do you think his mama is? I said, my guess is she's probably only like 35. He's 22. I was like, I know she's like a super young mother. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, yeah. She basically got pimped out, and she had a baby with a man who was 50-something years old when she was 13.
Have you ever looked at real life people that you know, normally as family members, and been like married people, and been like, wait a minute, you was robbing the cradle?
Absolutely.
Uncle Jimmy?
I absolutely have. Even like, who's my great grandfather? I mean, he's passed on now. Mm-hmm. Why you got kids my age and younger?
It's really
that's my great grandfather. That's crazy. And then it's like, once, I went on my whole family tree journey, and once I was putting these pieces together, I was like, now wait a minute.
You be looking at folks like, that's why she was a slave around the house cooking and cleaning, and you didn't have to tell her to do nothing, because she didn't know she was a child.
Yeah, and this is why these things are overlapping, because you met her in a different situation. This wasn't always your wife. She was something else to you before that now how y'all let that happen? Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it, and it's just like, I'm glad that seems to happen less now, and people I don't know about people all over, but I know in my family, like, it's not like we look at that and think it's okay. And I just wonder how many people are still looking at it like it's okay, because it still happens all the time.
What do you think is an appropriate age gap?
I think it gets bigger as you get older.
Okay. So let's say
like
20s.
Right now in your 20s, I think in early 20s, like, I think 10 years is a lot.
So if a 20-year-old was dating a 30-year-old.
Yeah, I think that's a lot. I think that you could try it. I think, okay, anything before 21, like, you don't need to be doing too much. Like, I don't think the age gap should be that big.
You're in creep
What are
zone.
y'all really talking about? What's really going on? Now, as you get older in your 20s, I think the gap widens. And I think, I can't give a number because it's like everybody is different. But I think that there's something to say about your actual age, because it does matter to me. And then just where you are in your life. Are you still like winging it and living your life like a teenager, you don't need to be dating a grown man who has grown man responsibilities, because you're going to leave your parents' home, or even if they're taking care of you and you have your own apartment, but you basically are a teenager still, you let another person take you, you're always going to be a kid. Like I think it's important to grow up. And then as you get older and more mature and more established, I think that you can have more in common with somebody who's older, so the gap can widen. But I think bottom line is people need to have conversations, and if it's your parents' age, you should question that.
Yeah, even looking back on some of
Even if you got a young mama or daddy, like, question that, because what the fuck?
you need to ask your daddy.
Is it age
"Daddy,
appropriate
what
for
was
your
you
mama?"
doing? Mama was 16 when you met her. You was 35. Sir, I'm calling the police.
Yeah.
I think
Excuse
that
me.
it, just like you said, like when you think you're grown, even sometimes in your 20s you think you're grown, and you once we got grown, you look at it, you're like, ooh.
Sometimes I still don't feel that grown.
Sometimes I still don't feel that grown either. And there were moments in my
Which is weird, because I should.
we're paying taxes and bills. Ooh, I cut down trees last week. Jesus. Oh, so there was like a part of my life where I was like dating super old men. Y'all know, if you're an OG listener, like I used to talk about it. And there's one specific man who is, still in the world doing his thing and really successful at what he does. And I look at it and it's like, I knew he was nasty then, but like looking at it now, it's like you're a creep and you have kids who are in college. And I just be wondering, like, when people have creep daddies, do you know that your dad is a creep?
Yes.
You think they know?
I was talking about me. Because I be like, daddy, like
it's just,
if the girl is close to my age, don't you think that's a little weird? Now, he hasn't been doing it lately, but there was a time, like, he has dated women that they weren't younger than me. They were still older than me. But I was just like, this is weird.
And it really makes me want to like bring a man who can articulate and communicate very well on the show, who only dates like a certain age range, and you're like 60 and you look ridiculous with like a 30-year-old something on your, or even a 20-year-old something. Like, you look ridiculous. I would love to sit, like, I want to talk to them, because like beyond the looks.
Oh, my daddy ain't that old.
what are you actually
control?
And I want to hear them say that, though. Nobody will ever
I think that they wouldn't want to sit here with us and say that, because that would be horrible for their dating life.
But there are some women that don't mind being controlled. They might not, just say it, but it's like you live your life like that. You don't mind it. If you're a woman where everything has to be taken care of and all these, in a way, you're getting controlled, because you got to drop them draws when he says drop them. It's just really, it looks creepy. And now that I'm at the age that I'm at now and I see it, I'm like, this looks weird. This looks weird that you're still going to the club buying sections and it's a bunch of 20-year-olds. Somebody's getting assaulted tonight. Like, I don't understand. Like, ooh, I think an 8-year gap is,
no matter what the age is.
In your 20s, I think you need to be at least 21 for this 8-year gap. But even still, that can still look kind of
21 and 29.
You're teeter-tottering with the creep zone. But when you get to like your 30s, I think, does it matter?
I think it still matters.
8 years still.
I mean,
when you get to your 40s.
But I think it matters. I think once you are 55, just go for what you know, child.
Go for what you can get, sweet baby. Do you think it matters for women? Like, if an older woman likes younger men? You know how I
think it matters for everybody. That is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still think it's the same thing. I think like these women who are being predators to the kids, I think still when older women want to be with a younger man, sometimes I think it's because they will trick you with the spoiling and everything. They want to do that to bait you in, but it's because they want you to be available to them when they want it. I mean, there are cases, I'm sure, on both sides where you meet somebody and you really do have a connection. And
Celine
maybe,
Dion.
Also, well, no.
What?
I think she was way too young for him. And I know that they stayed married and they had the kids, but I think that was gross.
Now,
he was very old, and this is like her boss, essentially. And I feel like he absolutely groomed that woman. And yeah, I do.
What do you think about Beyonce and Jay-Z?
I think that's a big age difference. Now, I don't think it's the same as as Celine Dion and whatchamacallit, but I think she was very young to be with him, because she's 19 and he's 30-something. But this is the thing about where you are.
When you say it out loud.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, she's 19, he's like 30-ish. I don't know the exact numbers. But I've said this before. Now, y'all don't kill me, but I do think that there is something different when you live your life like an adult. She's not living like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
You are working. You are doing these things. I do think it's still a big age gap. And it's just like, but I do think it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it's okay, but me at 19 was not Beyonce at 19. I was a regular 19 college student. And yeah,
what
I think
do you
it's
think
different.
your mom would say if right now you brought a 55-year-old man home?
She'd be like, nah, girl, well, shit, does he have a fine brother? Yeah, I don't know. I think she would let me do what I want to do because I am older now. But she would definitely have questions. I think she would assume it's for financial gain.
I think everyone would assume that. How could I would assume that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it would be. Because what the fuck are we going to talk about? I mean, unless he really likes Golden Girls, but then I would probably think something else about him. I don't know. But I don't be dating the old men. I've never really been into old men. I have been around some men who were older than me, that were too old for me, but not like old. Like 10 years has been the max. And that's old. Like it's never been my thing because it's like, okay, when you're hanging out with them and you're around them, what the fuck are y'all talking about? I don't care about none of this shit. None of it. It's not going to be a real connection. It's absolutely going to be a situation where somebody's getting used. So, yeah. I can't. The age gaps. What would you do if you had a kid that brought home somebody who you felt like was too young for them? Your child is the older one.
What's the age?
Your son is...
I hope I don't have no sons. Jesus.
32, and he brings home a girl who's 18, and she just graduated high school in the summertime. So, like, she just graduated. And he brings her to the 4th of July bash y'all are having at the house for the summer.
I'm pulling everybody aside. Your dad, you, and the young lady. What is going on here? And I would ask the girl, are you okay? And I need to talk to your parents because this is not right. We didn't raise you like this. We did not raise you like this, Junior. What are you doing?
Really be confused.
Yeah, you can't come. Y'all can't come. You're not. I'm sorry.
What if he didn't tell you? Because I most certainly would not think to ask my 32-year-old son. Now, how old is the lady? I would think you would know.
If she's 18, I think we would know she's...
When you see her, but I'm saying I wouldn't have asked in advance to tell them you can't come.
Yeah, that's the creep.
Just like, oh, I can't wait to meet her, and then I see this child.
I would tell him he looks like a creep. Now, you need to know this. Now, this is wildly insane. I don't know what you're doing, but I do not condone it. Take your little to-go plates, and we have to, have a real conversation because that is just weird. What are you doing with an 18-year-old? Again, what do you have in common? Do you want to control somebody? I think more people need to have, real, honest discussions with their kids. It might be uncomfortable, but you might be helping them with something. That's weird. That is weird. If you are 30 and you're dating an 18-year-old, I don't care if it's legal. That's weird.
It absolutely is. Now, what do you think about, how your parents feel about who you date? We're going to take the age stuff out of it. Nothing illegal or creepy, but just having opinions about what kind of person you should be with, the qualities that they should have, and not that they want you to have something that you think is bad, but it's something that's not important to you. Could it be, how do you feel about that when they share their opinions about what they want for you versus you telling them, well, this is what I really want and this is what's important to me?
When it's my parents doing it, I really appreciate it. They've never really been far off from what I want for myself. I'm really close with my mom and my dad. So when we have conversations like that, which we've had to have a few where it's like, what are you doing? Who is this person and why? But not too often. The people that I take seriously when they get to know them or they start spending more time with them. They normally are in alignment with everything I want for myself and what my family would want and hope for me. It's very rare that happens, but it's like that because I know I'm a family person. I know I'm the type of person where it's you're gonna be around my family. I'm gonna be around my family. I'm gonna be around your family. It has to be a good mix of people. I could never date somebody where it's like, you don't get along with my mom or my dad or my sister or my brother. Like sometimes when people are in relationships like that, where it's like somebody doesn't like your family or it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how you can have like a solid family structure that's your village for the most part if you have kids. And I do want to have kids and I need everybody to get along. I've seen the relationships where that's not happening and I can't thrive in it.
When you see it when it's not happening, why do the people typically not like each other? Did somebody do something or it's just like, I just don't care for this person?
It's normally like people overstepping boundaries. I think sometimes with families, and we've talked about this before, sometimes them in-laws, especially when kids get involved, but I don't think people spend enough time with families before they make things so serious. I think you should definitely do that because sometimes it might just be like, your mama gets on my nerves, but imagine somebody telling you that. You talking about my mama? Like,
what is she doing that gets on your nerves? Like, tell me why. You can't just say she gets on my nerves.
but I'm just saying if they're just like, your mom is kind of annoying, like that, or they don't enjoy being in the presence of your family. Nobody actually did anything to them, but they just don't enjoy it. I don't know how I could move through that. I don't even know how that works because it's like, bro, this is my family, the people that I've known my whole life. I will not, you can't, I don't know, you can't do it. So I do a very quickly, you're meeting my family if I think this is going to be serious. And you're going to be around a lot so that we can see if this whole thing meshes right. And I'm with someone who is also like that with their family. We don't want those issues because then you get married or then kids get involved. And now it's like, I don't like your family so they can't take the child. It's just, I feel like there's all these issues.
I'm thinking like, okay, I don't like being around your mama. She's annoying. I'm not thinking it's getting to the point where we can't be around each other because sometimes that's just a reality. A person might not be your cup of tea, but I think that you should be able to be cordial and be around them and have family functions without issue. Liking everybody, I don't know. Like, I think I could move past somebody not liking somebody, but my not like is not like disrespectful. It's not rude or any of that. Like, just, I don't like the way that your mom doesn't listen to you, perhaps, or something like that. Like, sometimes I think that people do have valid reasons because parents do overstep boundaries.
I think it's
with
okay
their own
with not
kids.
liking the way somebody does something.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm thinking of when I think of not liking. And so that's what I could move past. But if you're not like is that you feel like you can't be around them or you never want to show up to anything or you start being disrespectful, that's more than not just liking somebody. And now I feel like not only do you not like them, you don't really like or love me because that's disrespectful. And I wouldn't treat your family like that no matter how I felt about them. Maybe they do rub me the wrong way. Maybe they are disrespectful to me, but I wouldn't be disrespectful to them. I don't think that's cool. And that's what I wonder sometimes with people when I do see like things happening amongst families, like two different families that have come together. Like, what gets y'all to the point where y'all are fighting with each other? Like, really arguing, screaming, yelling, and not being able to just discuss things or put petty differences aside for the overall family? I don't know. I just wonder. I never get answers.
It's really important when people are dating and you're dating to be with the person and get married and start a family. Like I said, you bring them around your family and you get around their family, because one thing that I can't deal with also is if you come from a chaotic family. I think sometimes it starts from there where it's like y'all don't actually handle issues. It's just everything is drama. Nobody's really communicating with each other. Y'all don't love each other. So you don't mind if having a fallout with my family if y'all doing this shit, acting crazy with your own damn family. It's too much chaos. I can't deal with no crazy mamas. I can't deal with too much drama. If your sister too dramatic, if you hate your sister, you hate your that is just, to me, it's like, oh, this is going to be a lot of unpacking that I don't have the energy to do. I don't come from chaos. Nobody's perfect, but it's not chaotic. And I think people should pay attention to that if you want like a certain type of family structure. It's important.
Well, I was talking to a girlfriend of mine. We had gone to dinner recently, and she does not have a good relationship with her mother. And she's tried to like mend things and stuff, and she's just like, I just think that at this point it is what it is. It's not going to be fixed. Like, it can't work if only one person is trying. And the person she's in a relationship with is like a mama's boy. and is a problem for him. And so we were talking about it, and I was like, that's tough. Because like I hear what you're saying, and it just made me think about it, because it's like sometimes people do come from situations where it's not good, it's not healthy, and you do have to establish a boundary. Do you think that something like that, where you're with this man and he comes from a family that's not great, but he recognizes it's not great and he doesn't want the chaos in his life, so he's put a boundary there and he just does not engage with them because it's too much toxicity? Could you be with somebody like that since they recognize that that's not okay, that's not what they want, and they want something healthy? No.
And I think it's because first of all, I'm already with the person. So, and thank God that's not the situation. But I think if it was, and this is something that I've tried to pay attention to now moving forward just in life, there are certain things that I know I don't want to deal with in a relationship. And I've seen and dealt with a lot in the past. And it's me learning certain lessons. So there are certain traumas that people have. And this is no judgment. This is for me. If other people want to take chances and this is your life, that's great. And I think everybody should do what works for them. But there have been just things in my life that I recognize about people where it's like, I know that I don't want to work through this with you. If you have a, what's the word I'm looking for? A deranged relationship with either of your parents, there's just like a certain level of
deranged or estranged?
Estranged. Oh, I'm so glad I got you, Kiki. I was like, estranged.
Because I'm like, well, that's not what I meant. It's just estranged. They just don't talk.
Y'all know I'm not good with words. If you have an estranged,
I picture like a rabid animal wanting to fight every time it's Mother's Day or something. Okay. An estranged relationship.
If you have an estranged relationship with mama, especially mama, a mother is such an important role in somebody's life. And so there are going to be things that you're going to go through, and I'm going to have to go through them with you if I decide to be with you in a relationship and we're life partners. And I just know that's one of the battles I'm not picking. I feel like people pick their battles. Issues with parents, that's one I'm personally not. I don't want to take it on. If you got kids that you're not taking care of, that's another one. I just can't. If you got out of prison, I'm sure you're going to do great with your life, and I'm wishing the best for you.
Are you sure?
I hope, but you won't be for me. There are just certain things that I think people should pay attention to. Like essentially, like when you get in relationships, it comes down to like, what are you willing to go through with a person? Life has ups, but it has a bunch of downs. And those parent relationships, they got to be on point. What about you?
I think it would make a difference to me if you thought that was okay. And what I need to know what happened there in the relationship, how you feel about it, and what work you've done, maybe through therapy, to get through it. But it's like, hey, you might have come from a fucked up situation, but I don't think everybody who comes from fucked up situations wants to stay that way, plans to repeat the cycle. Some people do break cycles. And so that's not one that I would count somebody out for. We could talk about it. I think I need to know the details of what's going on. I need to know what's going on. I have met people from like traditional families, their parents are still together. I've met people who have been adopted or had one parent or had estranged relationships with a parent because that parent wasn't there, or maybe the parent suffered from some sort of mental illness and wasn't around, like just various things. And everybody was different. It was interesting hearing those stories because it's like, wow, people go through so much, but none of it would make me count them out because of that. Now, they did some other things to be counted out, but that wasn't it.
Well, y'all, that's the great thing about dating. You get to pick who you want to count out and who you don't, and hopefully you're making good decisions that make sense for you. Not your mama, not your daddy, for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess on that note, we will move on to Indecisive Diane. And when we come back, you guys will listen to some advice questions that were sent in.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? What do you want?
Hey ladies, it's me, Diane. And if you live in Atlanta or you're coming to visit, Atlantic Station has ice skating. It's a very cute date. And if you got kids, which all of you do right about now, you can bring your kids to meet each other. I don't know. Have a little fun. Go ice skating. Get some hot chocolate, maybe a little hot toddy. Go have fun and enjoy. Bye.
I'll go first.
375, right? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you guys, we are back from Indecisive Diane. And our first advice is titled To Stay or Go. Hey, Kiki and Medina. I love the show and have been a listener for the last 4 years. I've learned so much from you ladies, but apparently not enough. Anyways, my husband and I have been married for the last 12 years, and I'm at a point of no return, it seems. Everything started out so amazing. I truly thought the world of this man, but little did I know what the future had in store for me. My husband is 20 years older than me. We was just talking about, I didn't even do that on purpose. I'm 37.
It's a big age gap.
I'm 37. He's 57. I wonder when they met. We separated about...
Well, they've been married for 12 years.
But they probably met before.
And then I'm wondering, like, when they met before that. Because even then...
She probably listened to this whole episode and was like, my nigga's a creep. We separated about a year ago, and I was literally having the time of my life while I was away. He begged me to come back and swore he would change. So he ended up moving into my place, and shit's back to the way it was before I left. And I'm just so over it, y'all. Not only that, he has his grown-ass daughter living with us too, because she refuses to get a better job so she can do better for herself. I'm spending so much more money on utilities. What did we say that the men get you because you're not as smart? Because how did we get here? Okay, I'm spending so much more money on utilities and food, and he's only paid me rent one time.
Wait a minute.
I got questions too, because what?
I'm confused.
Why don't somebody
This is her husband?
This is her husband. They separated for a year. They got back together. He moved in with her. And they're...
All right, girl. You already said you was going through. I'm not going to kick you while you're down. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm so over it, you guys. We have 2 kids together. And right now, that's the one thing stopping me from telling him and his child to get to stepping. I always look like the bad guy, but oh well. Excuse me. I want to be free and clear with a new start in 2024. I really hope that I just hate the guilt I feel and sadness I see when my kids know their dad is leaving. Please help. Signed, Fed Up in the Bay. Sent from my iPhone.
Let me tell y'all something. I know that I'm not a mother and I know that I'm not married. But as a kid, you know when your parent is hurting. You see it. So your kids, like you are trying to keep it together for the kids. They see that mama is not happy. And a lot of times what happens is these parents who are trying to stick it out for the kids, when somebody is not treating you well, you're building up this resentment. And sometimes, like, have you ever been, ask yourself, everybody who's listening, have you ever been angry about something or stressed about something and you took those frustrations out unintentionally on somebody else that didn't even do anything? That's just what happened. And sometimes that is what happens with people who are trying to stick it out. I understand that this is the father of your children, but if you can't talk to him and work through something and he actually makes some real changes for the betterment of y'all's whole family, then you do need to go. What is the point of sticking around so that these kids can watch somebody mistreat their mother?
And be just like
then
him.
The kids are going to, I don't know if you have girls or boys, but they're going to watch how their dad treated you. And then that's another cycle that they may repeat. They may think that that shit is okay because you're inadvertently telling them it's okay and just stay and be miserable because we on the family tree together. Like, come on, you gotta get your plan together. Don't make any rash decisions. Well, it's your place because you left and he moved in with you. It sounds like he ain't have nowhere to be, him or his big head daughter, and you should put them both out. And that's what I think about it. Good luck.
It sounds like you're getting used and taken advantage of. And sis, you got to wake up and smell the Folgers. That's coffee. That's an old school coffee, if y'all didn't know that. But you really do have to wake up. And people leave and start new lives with less. I'm not saying that it's easy.
He needs to leave. It's her house, remember?
But I'm saying if that's not what's going to happen, then you break the lease. Don't even tell that nigga and his big head ass daughter. Don't pay the next round of utilities. Get your shit together and go. And go. If it's that hard to like face him, just go. And they got to figure it out. That's a grown ass man. When you date old niggas, this is not the way to do it.
Or call the leasing office and do an anonymous tip that is some people that's not on the lease that's living in an apartment, whatever number your apartment is, and then get them kicked out.
But depending on where she lives
she might
at,
get evicted.
Well, she might get evicted, but also depending on where she lives at, if he's getting mail there, they can't kick him out.
You have got yourself into a...
When the lease is up, that next lease, sis, get out the house and you need to start over. You and them kids will be fine. Believe in yourself. You got it. Please put on a Beyonce album and listen and get the strength.
Oh, good luck. All right, next one. This one says no new friends allowed. Well, damn. Hey, Kiki and Medinah. My husband and I are newly married and have been married for about 2 years now. Congratulations. But we've dated for a few years prior to our marriage. Although we've been together for, altogether, we've been together for over 6 years. That was a lot of togethers. Anyway, long enough to know each other, to know each of our long-term friendships. And those friendships are okay. However, I recently met a woman who I care for dearly. I see her more as a sister than a friend. Yet my husband is not approving of my newfound friendship. She has a son who is the same age and grade level as our 2 oldest kids, and her daughter dates our youngest son. Her and I enjoy getting our families out and attending sporting events, holiday time, and random outings together that, in my opinion, are harmless. We honestly just like to get the kids together to have a good time, plus we vibe. We get each other, and that kind of relationship is hard to come by nowadays, in my opinion. Okay, so here's the kicker. She's a single mom, and I see nothing wrong with it. I used to wear her exact same shoes as I was a single mom before I met my husband. My husband believes that I spend too much time with her, yet I don't believe that to be true. If I'm on the phone with her when he comes home, he is immediately annoyed, and then his attitude usually leads us into getting into an argument. I don't get it. Our kids play the same sports, go to the same school, and are involved in the same activities. It's kind of hard to not be around her when we see each other everywhere. Is this a red flag that my husband seems to be so insecure of my new friend? Should I mention to her that he doesn't care for her much? Don't you say that. Although I do think she has picked up on the context clues of jealousy he threw around at games, I really need your lady's help. Do you have any ideas on how I can get my husband to be accepting of the newfound friendship? Because at this point, she's stuck with me, and she's my road dog for life. He's just going to have to get with the program. XOXOXO. Sent from my phone.
When I read that, I think I read it maybe yesterday. I was like, at first I thought she was going to say she was falling in love with the friend.
I did too.
And I was like, how do y'all be doing this? But okay, that clearly isn't what happened. And then I really was thinking, I was like, okay, let me think why a man would get mad about a new friend. Because then I was like, are you sleeping with a friend? And I was like, I'm not getting that vibe.
I think it's because she's single.
Well, but she has a kid.
So?
Like, it's not like she's just like out here single and running, ripping the streets. At least if she is, then you left a big old part out of the email.
Or that's probably not a part of her life that she's involved in, you know? I think that a lot of times men get nervous to have their wife or their girlfriend with their single girlfriends because they're afraid of what they might get them to do.
I think
and maybe
women
it's a
get nervous about that too. If your man has too many single friends, you are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not going to the strip club every Saturday and compound and then revel and then the after hour spot. Bring your ass home. You need some married friends, nigga, because what is y'all out here doing?
Maybe y'all could do like some group outings or something and invite other couples so it's not like a 3 of y'all thing unless that's what y'all really trying to do. Maybe he's attracted to her.
I said that too. I was like, maybe she's really fine and he feels some type of way. But then I was kind of like, okay, maybe your husband feels a little bit left out. Maybe, are you spending like a lot? I really do want to know, like, if you could send an email back and answer the question, do you spend like a lot of time with the woman? Like, you know, sometimes you meet a friend and like y'all really do hit it off. And if you are single and you don't have other responsibilities, it's okay if like y'all just are at each other's house kicking in all the time. Kind of like a high school friendship. It's hard to come across those friends as adults, but when you do and you just want to be up under each other all day, maybe he feels a little bit left out. And that's normal. Like, maybe you could try to include him or spend more time with him if you're not spending no time with him. But let me tell you what you absolutely should not do. Don't tell the girl, if you want to remain friends and it be like a copacetic friendship, that he doesn't like her. That has, in any situations that I've been in like that, it never has worked. Because then the friend is going to be like, fuck you and your nigga.
Pretty much, yeah. And it doesn't feel good. It's like, that's unnecessary. You need to get to the bottom of why he feels away. And maybe just ask him straight up, like, what is it that you don't like about this friendship? Because I really miss having girlfriends. And she's a breath of fresh air. And she doesn't have a husband. So she has a little bit more time. And you're really busy with work. So it just seems to work out. Are you feeling left out? Like, ask him those questions and ask him how he feels about, you know, doing some group outings, like I was saying before, and just see if it could be that. Try to spend a little bit more time with him, but to totally cut off the friend, I think that's fucked up. And I'm wondering what reason he has for that, because that's not cool either. I don't think that's fair.
Like, that's not fair. And I think you should ask him, did the friend do something disrespectful that you don't know about? I don't think you should make him the bad guy right off the bat, because you don't. This your husband. You did just meet the woman, and make sure nothing uncomfortable happened. Because you know how we was just talking about how sometimes men can be the creeps right out. And we know men will be creeps, but women sometimes it's like you kind of don't expect a woman to do something creepy. What if she grabbed his booty or something at one of the games?
Yeah,
trying to test the waters.
Anything could happen. You've got to know. Or did he used to fuck her?
Or did he used to fuck her? Do they follow each other on Instagram? You got some work to do, sis.
I think it's really just probably one of the first options, but now our minds are spinning. So yeah, do some work. Start with a conversation, be responsible. And if you don't get anywhere, then that's when you can be Sherlock Holmes.
And don't start the conversation mad.
Just ask, bring it up lightly, maybe while sucking his dick or something.
Or making him some dinner.
Okay. All right, on that note, we are going to move on to the cocktails. So if you have a cocktail that you would like to share on the show, make sure you email us cocktails@cocktailspod.com.
If I want fuck, I'm gon' fuck 'em. But if he ain't got a buck, I won't cuff 'em. Spend 100 on me, it ain't nothing. Want a double D, so stuffin'. Back to the point, is it some cash in this place? If it is, I'll probably stick the stats in your face, turn around. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe, was a hoe, was a hoe.
Okay, so this cocktail says, "Hi ladies, I came across you just a few months ago. So, new listener here, but I am damn near obsessed at this point. I've even gone as far back as the older episodes from before COVID.
Ooh.
Needless to say, I love you both, and now y'all are my friends in my head. I have even become a patron not too long ago, and I have to say thank you so much for the bonus content. I love and appreciate all that you both do." Okay, now on to my married-ass cocktail, since Medinah often asks about married sex getting boring. Honestly, after being married almost 11 years and together 14, you definitely have those monotonous moments sometimes. But this moment right here that I had the other night was definitely not one of those. So I really don't want this to be long, but small backstory. Hubby is a regional truck driver and is only home on the weekends. So my weekends are usually filled with dick, edibles, food, and family time with the kids, 3 of them. I love to pretty much drain Babe the night before he goes back to work. So we watched a little Tubi movie, put the kids to bed, and he fell asleep on me. He took one of those high naps because he'd popped an edible a couple of hours before trying to get ready for the night. So while he was sleeping, I go ahead and take one too. I make sure everyone is sleeping, check all the doors and such, and I go to the bathroom to run a hot shower and brush my teeth. I wake babe up to join me. Both of us are in there soaping it up, being all cute and shit. The high is starting to hit me. I'm washing his whole body head to toe, teasing his dick and rinse him off and ease down to my knees. At this point, I'm high. The shower's feeling good. I'm horny. I'm horny and wet as fuck. I got his dick deep down in my throat. His hands are in my wet fro, gripping my hair, pumping his dick slow and easy down my throat. The higher I feel, the less of a gag reflex I have. I'm licking, sucking, slurping his dick, caressing balls, massaging the gooch, all that good shit. My pussy is throbbing like crazy. I feel like I'm gonna come. With no penetration, the more I edge him, the more my pussy feels like it's just swelling up. He grabbed my hair tighter and pumped his dick deeper. I finally gagged and my pussy squirted. Not the first time it happened, but it still shocks me a little bit when I do it. Babe helps me up and bends me over to touch my toes. How I didn't fall in the damn shower, IDK. But this man slips his dick in my wet pussy and starts pounding my ass so good. The sounds we made, God. How we didn't wake those kids up, I don't know. We didn't come, though, because we had more to do in the bedroom. We leave the bathroom, get in bed, and he asks me, how do you want it? I signal him by looking straight into his eyes while spreading my legs, and he knew that I wanted him on top. I scoot a little closer up the bed and put my legs on his shoulders. He let out a low growl and said some sexy slick shit. Babe already knew what type of night I wanted to be on. He slides in, putting his weight on me, pushing my legs further back until my toes touch the headboard. This man starts stroking me so good, kissing me, telling me how beautiful and sexy I was, how wet I was, dipping in and out of my pussy. It was like no matter what move, he made it all feel so damn good. Then he started stroking my G-spot over and over again. I'm a heavy breathing cussing, fuck me daddy mess at this point. He just wouldn't let off it. I couldn't even breathe half the time, and my pussy was throbbing and soaked. I could feel myself dripping here and there throughout, but he got to the point where it felt like my pussy was pushing him out. I was pulsating so bad, moaning loud, damn near growling. That shit was too good. Put the pillow over my face because I'm about to scream type of good. So good that the last stroke that took me over the edge made me squirt so hard that the shit shot to my neck. What the fuck? Now I'm known to squirt, but this was new. This man yells out, whoa, shit. Damn, you squirted all on your titties and neck. I was in shock. And damned if I had enough time to react. He was back in my pussy with his hand on my throat, stroking my spot all over again. I couldn't recover from what just happened. Before, he had me squirting again and again. Long story long, LOL. Babe had me coming, squirting, and cussing for a good 2 hours until we both passed out. The kids stayed asleep, my sheets were wrecked, and Babe was drained. That's my married-ass cocktail, ladies. Hope you enjoyed it. Love y'all. Squirtle Myrtle. Not sent from my iPhone. LOL.
That was a good story. You're a great writer. I feel like I could see it.
Mm-hmm. Y'all had a good high-ass time.
That was great marriage sex. Come on. Okay, the next one says, hey, y'all. So I've been seeing this guy for a while, but it had been a few weeks since we had seen each other and had sex. He had been out of town, and when he was back, I had a friend staying with me for the weekend. So the night of the live show, I started sending him, I wonder which one. So the night of the live show, I started sending him pics so he could see how good I was looking. He texted during the show to see if I was having a good time. Y'all were talking about being on demon time. So I asked him, what you be doing when you on demon time? So he starts telling how his favorite thing to do is eat my pussy till I'm close to crying, legs shaking, and he can watch me drip all over his tongue. So I'm like, shit, me too. So then he says, I have an idea, and sends the demon emoji, the little devil. So I'm like, okay, what's up? He says, let's fuck in my office when you leave the show. So I'm like, oh, you want to play risky? So I should tell y'all, he's law enforcement and he was on the clock that night. I won't lie, I don't usually play that risky. I don't play that risky, but I said, fuck it. Neither of us has done something like this, so let's play. So I go over to his job. After the show, we walk back to his office. He takes his vest off and his gun holster, and I love when a man takes his gun off, like, or out of whatever was in it, sits it on the dresser. Whew. He takes his vest off and his gun holster, and he raises my shirt and starts licking my nipples. I didn't even get my pussy ate because with the drinks I had before and during the show and the sneaking around at his job, I was ready. I pushed him down in a chair in his office and rode him so hard the legs on the chair started creaking. He was whispering in my ear, "Oh my God, you so fucking wet." And that's all it took. We both came loud as hell. After I caught my breath, we got dressed again and walked back out to the DC streets and went our separate ways. We texted and planned round 2 as soon as my friend left to catch a train back home. We inspired that sex.
I feel so good to inspire you all out there in the world. Thank you guys so much for listening to CockTales again this week and making it to the end of the episode. Be sure to check the description box to see what we have going on and anything that may be available for purchase or sign up. Make sure you're also following us on Instagram. We're at CockTales Podcast. I'm at Kiki Said So.
I'm at Coffee Bean Dean.
And until next week, you guys,
Goodbye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Wait on the drive. Bye. 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 Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. 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 Wait on the track. Wait on the track. I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Wait on the drive. Bye. Bye. Bye.